Ever found yourself really hitting it off with someone you like, only to feel the vibe go cold out of nowhere? It's frustrating and confusing, right? But here's a little secret. It might not be as complicated as it seems. Sometimes, without even realizing it, it's the little things we do that can turn someone off. That's why we're diving into 7 simple yet sneaky ways you might be knocking down your own charm without even knowing it. Think of this as your friendly guide to the dos and don'ts of making a good impression. Whether you're trying to spark a romance, keep your friendships vibrant, or make a good impression at work, getting a handle on these behaviors is like finding the secret sauce to keeping connections strong and interesting. We'll walk through each mistake, breaking down why it might be sending the wrong signal and how others might see it. But don't worry, we're not just pointing fingers here. We'll also share some straightforward advice from the pros on how to flip the script. This is all about boosting your self-awareness and giving you the right tools to tweak your way to better, more meaningful interactions. The best part? It's never too late to change. By adjusting a few small habits, you can seriously level up your social game, making yourself more attractive in ways that go way beyond just looks. So, let's get started on this journey to a more appealing you. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights that could change the game for you. Stick around to the end for some extra tips that might just be the game changer you need. Ready to dive in? Jumping right into our first point from that spirited intro, let's tackle the art of active listening, a skill far too many of us unknowingly stumble with, especially when nerves or excitement come into play. Imagine this. You're finally chatting with someone you've been wanting to get to know better. The conversation starts off great, but soon you find yourself anxiously waiting for them to finish just so you can chime in with your own story or opinion. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Here's the twist. Active listening is more than just hearing words. It's about fully engaging with the other person's experience. It's like being a detective in a conversation where every word and emotion is a clue to understanding them better. When you listen actively, you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. You're building a bridge of empathy and connection. So how do you shift from passive hearing to active listening? Start by really focusing on the person in front of you. Forget about the ping of your phone or what you're having for dinner. This moment, this conversation, deserves your full attention. Show that you're with them through small nods, the occasional and maintain eye contact that says, "I'm listening, and what you're saying matters to me." Next, pepper in some reflective comments or questions based on what they've just shared. This doesn't mean launching into a similar story of your own, but rather saying something like, "That sounds challenging. How did you deal with that?" Or, "What happened next?" These kinds of responses not only prove you're paying attention, but also encourage them to share more, deepening the conversation. Active listening is like a dance where you're both leading and following. It shows that you value the other person's thoughts and feelings, making you a magnet for meaningful interactions. By mastering this dance, you're not just making the other person feel heard and valued. You're also laying the groundwork for a connection that's based on genuine interest and mutual respect. So let's put those listening ears on and transform every conversation into an opportunity to connect on a deeper level. Diving into our second pitfall, let's confront the shadowy cloud of negativity that sometimes hovers over our interactions. Picture this scenario. You're having a chat, and without realizing it, the conversation veers into a marathon of complaints about work, friends, or life's injustices. While it's completely human to share frustrations, tipping the balance too far into negativity can unwittingly create an atmosphere that's more draining than engaging. Negativity, especially when it becomes the main dish of every conversation, can act like a repellent, pushing others away. It's akin to inviting someone into a room only to realize the air is stale. Nobody wants to stay for long. The trick here isn't to plaster a smile and pretend everything's perfect, but rather to find a healthy balance. Sharing struggles is okay, but so is celebrating the small victories and joys in life. To veer away from the negativity trap, start by becoming a curator of your conversations. Think of positive experiences or interesting observations you can share. This doesn't mean you have to ignore the tough parts of your day, but try to sprinkle in moments of lightness and humor. For instance, after venting about a challenging day at work, you could shift gears by mentioning a small win you had or something new you learned. Another effective strategy is to cultivate curiosity about the positive aspects of the other person's life. Ask them about a project they're excited about, a place they've recently visited, or even something as simple as a movie they enjoyed. This not only redirects the conversation to a more uplifting territory, but also shows that you're interested in their happiness and well-being. Remember, our conversations are like gardens. The seeds we plant can either grow into blossoming discussions or wither into desolate exchanges. By sprinkling our chats with a mix of empathy, shared struggles, and positive insights, we create a vibrant space that encourages others to open up and connect on a more meaningful level. So let's make a conscious effort to balance our conversational ecosystem, making it a place where positivity can thrive alongside genuine shared human experiences. Moving on to our third behavioral misstep, we delve into the tricky terrain of being overly self-centered in conversations. Imagine you're in a dialogue where it feels more like a monologue, with one person, maybe even unintentionally, hogging the spotlight. It's like being stuck in a one-player game where the other participant barely gets a turn. This dynamic can quickly sour the connection, leaving one feeling more like an audience member rather than an active participant in a shared conversation. This behavior doesn't just stem from a place of egotism. Often, it's rooted in a desire to connect or even nervousness, leading one to overshare or dominate the dialogue without realizing it. The key to navigating out of this conversational cul-de-sac is to cultivate a genuine curiosity about the other person. Here's how you can pivot from a one-way street to a dynamic exchange. First, practice the art of asking open-ended questions. These are the kind that invite more than a yes or no answer, encouraging the other person to share their thoughts and stories. For example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" try, "What was the highlight of your weekend?" This opens up the floor for more engaging and reciprocal dialogue. Next, embrace the role of being an active listener, a skill we've already touched upon. This means really tuning into what the other person is saying and showing interest through your responses and body language. It's about making the conversation a tennis match of ideas and experiences, where the ball is kept in play between both players. Another helpful tactic is to periodically check in with yourself during the conversation. Ask, "Am I monopolizing this conversation?" Or, "When was the last time I asked them a question or let them share their thoughts?" This self-awareness can be a gentle nudge to recalibrate the dialogue towards a more balanced and mutual exchange. By shifting from being overly self-centered to fostering a two-way conversation, you not only make the interaction more enjoyable for both parties, but you also lay down the foundation for deeper and more meaningful connections. It turns the conversation from a solo performance into a duet, where both voices are heard and valued. Let's make every conversation an opportunity to not just share, but also to discover and connect. On to our fourth conversational quirk that might be throwing a wrench in your social gears: avoiding eye contact. It's a common scenario. Perhaps you're speaking with someone and notice their gaze drifting to the floor, out the window, or locking onto anything but your eyes. It feels off, doesn't it? Eye contact is the unspoken language of engagement, confidence, and sincerity. When it's missing, It can send unintended signals of disinterest, discomfort, or even dishonesty. But let's be clear, mastering eye contact doesn't mean holding a relentless stare that could win a staring contest. It's about finding that sweet spot where your gaze conveys you are fully present and connected with the person you're speaking to. Think of eye contact as the spotlight in a theater. It highlights where the attention should be, making the person in its glow feel seen and important. So, how do we improve this subtle yet powerful aspect of communication? Start small. If direct eye contact feels too intense, try focusing on the area just between someone's eyes or on their eyebrows. This can ease the discomfort while still giving the impression of direct engagement. Practicing with friends or in front of a mirror can also be helpful. It's like training wheels for eye contact. It helps you get used to the feeling of maintaining a gaze in a low-pressure environment. Plus, you can observe firsthand how natural and attentive it makes the conversation feel. In group settings, make sure to distribute your gaze among those you're speaking with, making each person feel included in the conversation. This not only enhances your connection with each individual, but also boosts the overall dynamic of the group interaction. Improving your eye contact is like polishing a gem. It enhances your natural appeal by making others feel valued and listened to. It's a non-verbal cue that says, "I'm here with you and I'm interested in what you have to say." By cultivating this skill, you open up a new level of depth and authenticity in your interactions, paving the way for stronger, more meaningful connections. Let's make every look a bridge that connects us, not a barrier that divides. Now let's glide into our fifth point, often overlooked yet incredibly potent, forgetting the power of a smile. Think about the last time someone greeted you with a genuine, warm smile. It felt inviting and comforting, right? A smile is a universal sign of friendliness and openness, a silent signal that says, "You're welcome here." Yet, in the hustle of our daily lives or during moments of nervousness, we might forget to employ this simple, powerful tool. A smile does more than just signal happiness. It's a bridge builder, instantly making you more approachable and relatable. It's like a light switch that can brighten not just your own demeanor, but also the mood of those around you. When you smile, you're not just altering the contours of your face, you're transforming the entire emotional landscape of the interaction. So how do we make sure we're harnessing the full power of our smiles? First, be mindful of your facial expressions. Sometimes we're so caught up in our thoughts or worries that we forget our faces can broadcast those internal dialogues. By consciously choosing to smile, especially at the beginning of an interaction, you set a positive tone for the conversation. It's also important to aim for authenticity. People can usually tell the difference between a genuine smile and one that's just being polite. Think of something that brings you joy or amusement. Let that feeling reflect through your smile. This sincerity makes your smile a beacon of warmth and genuineness. Additionally, don't underestimate the impact of a smile even in non-verbal contexts, like smiling at someone as you pass by or when you're listening to them speak. It's a subtle reaffirmation that you're present and engaged, making the other person feel seen and appreciated. By incorporating more smiles into our interactions, we don't just enhance our attractiveness, we weave threads of joy and connection into the fabric of our daily encounters. A smile is a small gesture that can have a profound impact, signaling that we're not just physically present, but emotionally open to the people we meet. So let's unleash the power of our smiles to light up our conversations and make every interaction a little brighter and more meaningful. Stepping into our sixth focal area, we encounter the delicate matter of neglecting personal boundaries. It's a dance as intricate as any waltz where stepping too close or lingering too long can lead to an awkward misstep, leaving one or both partners feeling uncomfortable. Personal boundaries are the invisible lines we draw around ourselves to feel safe and respected. When these lines are crossed, even with the best intentions, it can lead to feelings of intrusion or discomfort, dimming the spark of connection. Recognizing and respecting personal boundaries isn't just about physical space, it's about acknowledging and honoring the other person's comfort levels, whether they pertain to physical closeness, topics of conversation, or even the frequency of communication. It's like navigating a shared space where everyone's invisible lines are respected, making it a safe and comfortable place for all. How do we ensure we're respecting these boundaries? Start by paying attention to non-verbal cues. A step back, crossed arms, or averted gaze can all signal discomfort. If you notice any of these signs, it might be time to take a step back or shift the conversation. Active listening, covered earlier, plays a crucial role here too. It's about hearing what the other person is saying and what they might not be saying directly. For instance, if someone avoids certain topics or gives short responses, it could indicate a boundary that they're not comfortable crossing. It's also okay to ask directly about boundaries, especially in new or deepening relationships. Phrases like, "Is this okay with you?" or "Would you prefer we talk about something else?" show sensitivity to the other person's comfort and can strengthen the bond of trust between you. Finally, be mindful of your own boundaries. Communicating your limits clearly sets a mutual understanding and respect, providing a model for the other person to do the same. It's a two-way street where both parties feel valued and respected. By being attuned to and respectful of personal boundaries, we not only avoid potential discomfort, but also foster a sense of safety and respect in our interactions. This creates a foundation for deeper, more meaningful connections, where everyone involved feels understood and valued. Let's navigate the dance of social interactions with grace, ensuring that we honor the boundaries that make each connection uniquely comfortable and enriching. Finally, we arrive at our seventh and equally significant point, failing to express gratitude. This oversight might seem minor, but it has profound implications on our social fabric. Gratitude is the glue that binds our interactions with warmth and sincerity. When we fail to acknowledge the kindness, help, or even the presence of others, we miss out on reinforcing our connections, leaving a void where appreciation should reside. Expressing gratitude isn't just about saying thank you as a formality. It's an acknowledgement of the value someone has added to your life, no matter how small or fleeting that moment might be. It's a recognition that their gesture, time, or effort has made a difference to you. This acknowledgement not only makes the other person feel valued and seen, but it also elevates the quality of your interactions, imbuing them with positivity and mutual respect. So how can we weave more gratitude into our daily interactions? Start with being more observant of the contributions of others, whether it's a friend lending an ear, a colleague assisting with a project, or a stranger holding the door open. Acknowledge these moments with a sincere thank you, accompanied by eye contact and a smile, to convey your genuine appreciation. Moreover, consider extending your expression of gratitude beyond the immediate moment. A follow-up message, a note, or even a small gesture can magnify the impact of your appreciation, making it more memorable and meaningful. It's these little tokens of gratitude that can turn fleeting interactions into lasting impressions. But gratitude goes beyond just acknowledging acts of kindness. It's also about appreciating the presence of others in your life. Taking the time to express how much someone means to you, whether through words, actions, or thoughtful gestures, strengthens bonds and deepens connections. Incorporating gratitude into our interactions transforms them from mere exchanges to rich, meaningful connections. It's a powerful tool that not only makes others feel good, but also enriches our own lives, fostering a sense of happiness and fulfillment. By making gratitude a habit, we create a more positive, connected, and appreciative world around us. Let's not underestimate the power of a simple thank you to make someone's day a little brighter and our relationships a bit stronger.